A milestone in sales. AutoNation selling its 8 millionth vehicle. CEO Mike Jackson and company founder Wayne Huizenga will tell us about the road ahead for auto sales. Squawk Box begins right now.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine, through the bumps of dime in your prime. Then
AutoNation is hitting a big milestone. The company's announcing today the sale of its 8 millionth vehicle. Joining us now, first on CNBC, is AutoNation Chairman and CEO Mike Jackson, along with Wayne Huizenga. He is AutoNation's founder and, of course, chairman of Huizenga Holdings. Also, our guest host, Ken Duberstein, continues with us. Congratulations to both of you, Mike and Wayne, and tell us what's happening. You giving this car to this lady?
Well, Joe, good morning. Yes, Wayne and I are here at our brand new state-of-the-art facility, Honda of Dulles, Virginia, celebrating the retail of our 8 millionth vehicle in the history of AutoNation. As a matter of fact, in the history of the entire automobile industry, nobody's ever retailed 8 million cars before. In light of that, we met with the customer who signed the contract this morning to purchase that vehicle. And Wayne and I ripped up the finance contract. We said, we'll take care of that, and we're giving you our 8th millionth sale. And the lady who took delivery of it for free, Wendy Kong, is in the Army, just back from a tour of duty in Afghanistan, 1 year of service. So it was a nice moment this morning.
Just back from Kabul. That's amazing. That's great. 8 million. And I was looking, Wayne, at when this started. I'm trying to figure out what else you were doing in 1996, but you bought a Dodge dealer in 1996. Were you out of Blockbuster, out of Waste Management, into Republic Services? I can't remember exactly what the heck you were doing, but on the side, you started another $5 billion market cap company called AutoNation.
Yeah, we had all three of those companies going at the same time, Joe.
Yeah, and whenever I talk about you, I add up how many jobs at Waste Management, and then Blockbuster, and then Republic, and then AutoNation, and you're one guy that you bought a used garbage truck when you were 20 years old or something, and the rest is history, right?
Yeah, but no one keeps me on the payroll, Joe.
Yeah, you don't stay long. Well, tell me about.
I'm with you, Joe. I think there's few people in America that's created more jobs than Wayne Huizenga.
I know and
that's what it's about.
Amazing. It's exactly what it's about. I think about it. If everybody created that many jobs, we wouldn't have any unemployment. It'd be in the negative numbers. So this is a new facility too, and it's a Honda facility, which is also a commentary on things, Mike, because you love all your children. It doesn't matter where they're made, and a lot of them are made now here anyway.
Well, yeah, Joe, we as a company, I've always taken a diversified approach, and we have 1/3 of our revenue coming from the domestic brands, and it's great to see a renaissance going on there. We have 1/3 of our profitability coming from premium luxury, and of course, we have another third of our business with the Japanese, which is challenged at the moment with a major production disruption in Japan. And also the U.S. plants, where production at the moment is down 70%. But it feels like we're hitting the bottom of the production downturn, and there should be steady improvement starting in June, which means we should see improved shipments sometime in July and August. But for the next couple months, there's definitely going to be shortages around the Japanese products. And we've seen an impact in sales. Volumes are down somewhat. Pricing is higher. Japanese transaction prices are up about 7% from the beginning of the year. So it's had an impact, but it seems like the absolute worst is over, and starting in July, August, it'll gradually improve.
Yeah, you've had to manage through this. Where was that piece? Was that in the journal? You're having meetings and trying to figure out exactly. Did you know that the tsunami, that's the worst case scenario? Did that play out, what finally happened? Because it affected you. I remember you saying it wasn't going to happen for a month or two, but it finally did come home to roost with AutoNation.
Yeah, that was a Wall Street Journal story. Very well done. And what the story is really about is you go into a year with an operating plan that you spent literally months to put together down to every detail at every store, and then there can be an event in the world and in the industry that you have to throw that operating plan that you've labored over for all that time literally out the window from one day to the next and draw up a new plan. And while you always have downside scenarios, I don't think anyone in our industry ever imagined that there could be some event that affected the global supply chain and global production to such an extent, and how dependent the industry was on a few sub-suppliers north of Tokyo for certain components that only came from one place in the world. So I think there's a sense within our industry of saying never again. We have to find another way around this ultimately, and everyone's been in crisis meetings day and night since the tsunami to figure out how to get production flowing again. So it's been an unbelievable period to go through. We're not through it yet, but I have a sense that within a couple months the worst will be over.
Hey, Wayne, we just had the CEO of Travelers on, Jay Fishman, talking about his dad was an entrepreneur, started a small printing business, and I mean, to call you an entrepreneur, obviously that's understating the whole thing, but he's worried that today it'd be tougher to do it. Do you think you could do it today? Well, you're still doing it, but what do we need to do to make it easier for guys like you to create jobs?
I don't think it's any different today than it was several years ago. You know, you got to have a good idea. You have to be aggressive. You have to have the wherewithal to go make it happen. I think it's doable today, just like it was 5 or 10 years ago.
Good. So you don't need any help from the government, but then again, I guess there's some things that the government might not help with and might be in the way. Anything there? Any tax policy? Any? I guess regulation doesn't help that much when it's misguided.
Well, we started several companies, Joe, and we never got any help from the government. Just went out there and made it happen.
Right.
As long as the government doesn't get in the way, right?
Yeah, I think that's the issue, and sometimes when we're here in Washington today, Wayne and I are spending a day traveling around D.C., and sometimes you really have the sense that Washington has lost sight of what made America great in the first place. And that is, 350 million people to create a $15 trillion economy is all based on aspiration, innovation, and great entrepreneurs like Wayne Huizinga. And they should be treasured and valued, not taken for granted. Right. And sometimes you have the feeling in this town that the roots of America's greatness is really not understood and cared for. That we can continue to be great for the decades ahead.
Have you talked to any NFL owners, Wayne? What should we do? How do we get this season played?
It's not a problem, Joe. Really, if you focus in on it, the NFL is not cutting salaries. Salaries remain static. What the NFL is telling the players is, we're not going to cut your pay, but in the future, we can't have the same kind of increases we've had in the past. The economy has changed. Things aren't the same as they used to be, and that's what the players are resisting. But no one's talking about reducing compensation for the players. It remain the same, and it will increase as you go along. It just can't increase at the rate that it has in the last several years.
There's going to be a season, Wayne?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it sounds foolish, but, they're not that foolish.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations. That's nice. That's a great story. Right back from Kabul, Afghanistan. She's got a new Honda, and it's the 8 millionth vehicle basically since 1996.
And I see the odometer's about to switch to 8,000,001.
Yeah,
notice that one. Sales continue.
Who knows where it'll be by the
well placed.
Yeah, exactly.